Hi, this is Ida Başkil Martin. I wanted to give you a practice chance. Now I'm going to show you and I will ask, can you recognize these bones of the skull? When you look here, it's very distinctive, right? And we have two of them on the right and left, exactly on our side of our skull. Can you recognize this bone? If you said the temporal bone, you're right. How I'm knowing this is temporal bone? You see the meatus acousticus externus. You see the ear canal, that structure that made the ear canal in your body, and you see the styloid process, and you see the zygomatic process of the temporal bone, because the zygomatic process of the temporal bone and the temporal process of zygomatic bone together will create the zygomatic arch. You can see, let me bring it to you here, just like that. They will make the zygomatic arch. When you look at our arch, it's smaller. Through the evolution, that was bigger, now it's getting smaller. Why? Because we are not chewing enough yet. We are eating protein shakes, right? But when you look at the horses and the otters, you will see a bigger or longer zygomatic arch because they chew. So we can say this is zygomatic bone for that reason. And when we look here, this is the maxillae, right? And to be exact, this is the left side of the maxillae or upper jaw bone. How I know? Because I see the teeth. It can be either maxillae or mandible. It doesn't look like mandible because that's what we know, the mandible, one bone, and maxillae, two of them, right and left, right? And when we turn in the inferior portion, you see the palatine bone is attached to behind the maxillae. You see L-shaped palatine bone. So this is palatine bone with this brownish color, and this turquoise color bone we call what? Maxillae. To be exact, we will call the left maxillae. Okay, we discussed this. This is mandible, right? And how I know it? I see the teeth. So it can be either mandible or maxillae, and we know it's only one and U-shaped bone. And you can see the mental foramen and both sides. The nerves pass through our teeth and lower jaw, and you see here mandibular foramen in the back again, two important foramen, and you see the condylate process of the mandible, which makes our only movable joint of our skull, temporomandibular joint, right? Temporomandibular. What that means? It is between the temporal bone and the mandibular bone. Okay. When we look here, I think this is the one of the easiest because you see the roof of the orbits. So that is what? Frontal bone. We have a supraorbital foramen, and again that makes the recognition, and this part of your frontal bone will make the coronal suture. Okay, and we have here the parietal bones. Parietal bones. There is no so much feature except you see the meningeal arteries, passageways, and we recognize this plate-like flat bone as a parietal bone. And this is again a very distinctive bone, occipital bone. How I can know? You can see the foramen magnum. This is the largest open foramen in living human being. We know that when you look there is bigger foramens, but they are closed in living human being, and this is the only open largest foramen in your body. And this is the occipital bone. I will discuss the detail of the bones in individual videos. Again, when you look this bone and you see you can easily recognize as a sphenoid bone because it looks like a bat, right? And larger and lesser wings. But most important structure here, we have the sinuses inside of it. And you can see here the sinus, sphenoid sinus, right? And what most important feature in sphenoid bone, we have sella turcica. Sella turcica houses the pituitary gland in human being. So there is different foramens we will discuss in individual sphenoid video, and they are the passageway for the structures. And last bone I wanted to show you and discuss, this is the ethmoid bone of your cranium, and you can see the all this broken crista galli, perpendicular plate, and ethmoidal air cells or ethmoidal sinus very well. And this portion, you will see this portion will make the upper portion or superior portion of nasal septum as well.